We start off in a bathroom, and the only two things we can interact with at this point, at least, are a bottle of pills and a door, which we break down. And we appear to be in some kind of nightclub, and this guy is standing on a railway smoking. I'm not gonna question that. We break down the next room's door, and before us stands this entity, I guess. Okay, so before we actually start, I'm just gonna explain some gameplay elements just to make sure you actually understand what's going on. So, shooting yourself with a blank bullet skips the dealer's turn. Risky, but like technically worth it. And for the items, the magnifying glass lets you see the bullet currently inside the chamber. Pack of cigarettes gives you back 1 life, unless you're on your last 2. Handcuffs skips the opponent's turn. The knife cuts the tips of the gun, dealing twice more damage. The soda ejects the current bullet in the chamber. You now sign the waiver and get to playing with the dealer. Bullets are randomized, so you can do nothing else but hope that God, if he's still here, is on your side. As you shoot the dealer, his expression can get more and more disgusting, almost as if he's mad to see you winning, though he seems not care too much about getting shot as he gets back up immediately, which isn't our case, obviously. Losing gets you right back in the bathroom, woken up by the doctor, that saves us thanks to a defibrillator, and yet we keep going. For the second match, this is where the dealer decides to make it all more interesting, which is when the items I mentioned earlier come into play. They're given to you randomly, and you just have to hope and pray that you're lucky with them. As you get out your items after a few rounds, or even possibly the first, you're able to get out an exact same waiver to the one you signed. If you were hoping to have God on your side, that's not on today's agenda, folks. Which means technically 2 things. Either God played this game and lost, which explains the plot on the waiver, or he signed it as a way to say you're on your own to the players. A way to guarantee that he won't interfere with the games. This is the last match where the doctor can help you. You can try again and again if you want, the dealer will simply welcome you back. Third and last match, the one where you can't come back from. Rules are the exact same, thank God. Only change is that you're dead if you lose this time. No doctor in the bathrooms with his shady defibrillator for you anymore. The dealer imposes himself with the same rules and seems to enjoy what's going on. You now take out 4 items from the box per round. He speeds up his way of playing after, not saying a word anymore. There's 2 possibilities from here on out. Either you win, and don't be misguided by the eyes appearing in the dark after you rightfully won. It ends as the case with the money as promised. The weird thing here is, why is the dealer playing? We don't really have anything to offer except our life and some kind of morbid entertainment. This whole time he plays by the rules and stays loyal to them. We drive off with the case and gun with us. In this game mode, what is fascinating is that you can only gain a maximum of $70,000. Not quite much when you sign the waiver that basically says, if you die, I don't give a damn. And why take the gun? However, the bad ending is way different. If the dealer manages to take away your chances from you in a third match, you will wake up in quite literally heaven, filled with a blinding white sky and spikes. You understand that no one has been here for a while now. Obviously, this means the waiver signed by God we grabbed out of the box earlier definitely means he lost against the dealer, leaving heaven to be abandoned. If you decide to retry, the dealer finally shows some other emotion. Can we really blame him though? By constantly retrying, we're straight up going against his rules. We're supposed to have lost, and he won't fair square. By retrying, his rules mean nothing to us, which also by extension means he is never going to truly win. That's gonna be annoying. If you play press again, you can now notice a screen that appears to have been thrown to the wall. We'll come back to that later. You can also interact with this little bottle of pills, letting you know it might impair your driving, but we take it anyway. This launches the double or nothing mode. This basically means every time you win the 3 matches, you're able to double the amount of money you receive, and if you refuse, normal. There's no doctors here, and you receive items directly from the first round. Speaking of items, the inverter swaps the shell that's currently in the chamber, so if it's a live one, it'll switch to the blank. At least if I'm not stupid and I understood correctly. Burner phone, a mysterious individual tells you the location of a random shell and what it is upon use. The expired medicine, similar to cigarettes, however they're a 50% chance. 50% you restore 2 lives, 50% you lose 1 life. Adrenaline lets you choose 1 item to steal from the dealer. These are only available in Double or Nothing and I believe multiplayer, so don't worry, you don't have to shiver your timbers if you're just trying out solo mode. While we're at it, This is a maximum of 4 players mode. You begin outside with the camera slowly zooming into the sewers where the game takes place. Your opponents have a similar physique to the dealer with the exception of all being masked. This is once again pretty much the same concept except with some new OST and 2 new items. The remote is literally just a reverse card from Uno. That's it. The jammer is the multiplayer equivalent of handcuffs. Again, literally that shit. So now you could technically be asking, is that it? Well, if you know me, which let's face it, you don't, you most likely know I'm really big into lore, especially small indie games like these. So until recently, the lore was mostly made of theories. One of the popular ones being that the game happens in a purgatory. The dealer would be some kind of demon, which explains why the doctor brings us back each time. Or it could be an addiction metaphor with the smoking imagery, beer, and that the protag just keeps on trying again and again. But there's one little thing we have yet to talk about more in depth. The computer screen. Originally, it wasn't there and was added in later updates, and once it appeared, people seemed to start noticing a lot of things about it. By the way, the screen seems to be legit alive. SCP-looking ass. It all started when people noticed an email address you could find directly on the computer. Sending an image to that address gives you an automated answer with a code. From there is a lot of info you can notice. I mean, first of all, there's a website in the address itself. It leads to an ad for the phone you can use in Double or Nothing that reads the future. Phone which makes zero sense when you look on its button. Like, why is there LOL as a button? But more importantly, there's a phone number to place your order and a clickable link on a little star. The star leads to a website where you need to enter a password and a phone number that's been rendered unusable now. Used to lead to death message.
Thank you for calling Volta Standard Electronics General Helpline. All of our operators are currently occupied. Our hours of operation are Monday through Friday and if you are trying to reach a specific party, please enter the extension followed by the pound key. If you are calling in regards to an order being impacted by the shutdown, please contact your corresponding regional Ministry of Public Safety and Informational Security. More information can be found at
Alright, moving on. The important thing to remember is this part. If you're calling in regard to an order being impacted by the shutdown, what the hell is the shutdown? I mean, immediately there's 2 ideas that pop into our head. Either it's just a clue on its own for the ARG, or it's something that happened in the lore of the game. But no matter what it means, those specific words are what is going to be helpful to decipher the code from the email earlier. By using the AES decipher method, which, if I understood properly, buckle up for this one. AES, aka Advanced Encryption Standard, is a variant of a block cipher, which, if I'm not stupid again, is an algorithm that determines stuff using fixed length groups of bits, aka blocks. AES is also part of this thing, which is in turn a family of ciphers with a bunch of different stuff in them. Don't worry if you didn't catch any of this, it's not that important. When the message is finally decrypted, this is what it gives us. They won't ever forgive me, or I will not forgive myself. I made a wish upon a falling star, and it brought me nothing but misery. The machine hungers, fed by booming shots and blood and luck. It is fed constantly, it's chewing, metallic and vile, and it still brings more comfort than the dents of hell below. As much as we could think this is referring to the dealer, it's actually a reference to the Divine Comedy by Dante. I apologize, but I really dislike butchering names. Just remember this poem as it'll be important later. This is where the research after the password on the website started going a bit everywhere with multiple code trails, so understandably, the research took a long time considering no one really knew where to look to even find the password, which made them block on the step for a little while. Until the content of the email changed completely, it switched from the version including the coded poem to this. Security breach has taken place in Volta's standard electronics database, resulting in information leak containing internal documentation and classified data. Access level B and C are compromised. The company orders all employees having aforementioned access levels to delete all messages from their corporate email, disconnect from the Volta standard electronics intranet, delete all work-related files from the corporate PCs, reset the corporate PCs to factory settings, wait for the arrival of our security team who will take you to the interrogation. After the interrogation, a new corporate PC will be issued to you. If deleting the data interferes with your work, download backup copies of needed document from the archive. This order is to be executed immediately. Refusal to obey the order will result in severe disciplinary actions, including termination without notice. Volta Standard Electronics Automatic Alert System. To access the mentioned archive, you just type the address we already know of with a /archive in the URL. It's that simple for once. First of all, this website is going to be able to give us the password we needed, but also a lot of information regarding the general lore. There are a lot of holes, just like a certain fictional foundations database. We firstly learned that Volta landed a partnership with someone, which led to them adding some kind of organic material / liquid in their electronics, which explains the SCP-looking screen. We then learned that they're also behind the modified Russian roulette from the nightclub, which explains the very technological advanced stuff that they made sure it was all able to happen correctly. We don't really know why, but in one of the documents it seemed they wanted to make it some sort of show or event within the audience and stuff. Well, for right now, it's in this decrepit, closed-off room in a nightclub anyway. You want to know how they found the password? Oh, well, it's really easy. They just quite literally checked frame by frame promotional videos, checked the older games from dev, looked carefully at a date found in one of those games called Carbon Steel, checked in the archives to see what element it refers to, then linked out to one of the dumb moments in the game, and a moment in the poem from earlier, which would be the 120th line from the 7th chant. Using that number, so 7/120, tasted the phone on the website, we opt in that. Crazy. Now that we have the password, let's see what it gives us. Text. It's an extremely long message, which would be for the person behind the breach on the second mail. He basically says that this is just getting started, that something big will happen, connecting to what Volta is preparing, and that it will concern the whole Earth. That message is technically both a message telling us about what will happen in the story and a hint concerning the ARG, letting us know that it's not over yet, as new clues will appear as time goes. I mean, yeah, the archives aren't fully complete just yet since we're missing, you guessed it, more passwords. But one big question remains. Who the fuck is this guy? Everyone kind of has their own ideas and theories to answer that, but I would like to share one I heard in this YouTuber's video who inspired this one. If you speak French, make sure to go show him some love, he makes insanely good content. His theory is that, like the computer screen, the dealer would be some kind of machine, half mechanical and half organic, which would easily explain why he doesn't need any defibrillators and how he doesn't ever really die 100%, and the red eyes when he loses accompanied with the sound it does. He also mentions how the doctor's text and sound and his are also different. I mean, not hard to tell the different species, but like he said, there's a confirmation. He mentions this part of the poem as well, which he knows reminded him of the dealer with certain words like shoot, machine, luck, etc. Noting everything I knew so far, I honestly could not for life of me to make my own theory. I mean, for starters, I'm just really bad at finding clues in ARGs and making sense of what I see, so I like waiting and seeing the conclusion first. All I personally think is that the dealer is some kind of demon who took over Volta's little game room. But there's so many questions left. Who the hell is the doctor? And is he working with Volta? What the hell is this screen made out of? And where the hell are we? Are we even in the United States or somewhere else? For now, we can only wait and sit back to let the people decode everything. Originally, when Buckshot Roulette released and most big YouTubers started playing it, I thought the game had a cool concept, but not much else. One of those games you'd go, oh cool, after and not really lunch again. But then I stumbled upon the ARG and good god, this is such a rabbit hole. If you enjoyed this video, please check out the game on Steam and itch.io to support the dev. I'm really glad games full of mystery like this are still a thing after so many years. It reminds me a lot of Gaster and Undertale and all the information that was circulating about him back then. And I honestly can't wait to see the eventual ending to the story of the game. If you watched all the way through, thank you very much. I would like to credit both of these videos that have inspired me for making this video in general, and which I got a lot of my information from. If you've enjoyed this video, the best way to support me is to drop a click on that subscribe button and support me on Twitch, where I am way more active for the time being. Feel free to also let me know what your theories are. I'd love to read what you think. Thank you for watching, and happy holidays, everyone.